Listen very carefully. Listen very carefully. Everything that you are seeing regarding the absolute, abject, and obvious incompetence as to the investigation in New Orleans and maybe later with Las Vegas, I'm not sure about that one, but looking at New Orleans, with the Three Stooges, where DEI meets AARP, this is by design. I'm going to say this repeatedly. This is by design. The reason for this is to acclimate you, to habituate you, to get you used to the notion of this. Also, to draw you into the crossfire. If you were to say DEI, they are now going to use a subsequent trick where that is going to be construed as code word for racism, that you are really a racist, that's what this is about. This is racism, that you are anti-black, anti-female, anti-gay, anti-whatever it is. This is what they're going to tell you. Do not be disheartened. Do not be fearful. Stick to your guns. It is also critical, and I see this all the time, and this is a problem. This is a problem that we have. There are people who have the mindset of children, mean, nasty, horrible children, who write terrible things on social media involving race and religion. These are people we really can't stop, but they're there. Avoid this at all cost. Stay away from this. There are people who are luring you in. When you say DEI, DEI is not necessarily anti-black, anti-female, anti-gay, anti-trans. If you have someone who is, do you know how many great police women and police officers who are women, who are gay? I've run into them. They are phenomenal. Police officers, females, can defuse situations like you can't believe. I have seen this. They can take somebody who's going crazy and a big strapping guy comes in, and instead of quelling the situation, he makes it worse. I know that may seem counterintuitive, but it's the God's honest truth. So nobody is talking about women or gays. I have had the chance to work with, I guess, police officers who I believe were gay, women, men maybe, I don't know, but it didn't really matter. I will never forget sometime when you are a prosecutor and you have police or incident reports, and this is all you've got. I know I don't know about now, but in the old days, women were the best report writers. You could read their handwriting. They were lucid. I know this sounds terrible. There are officers who are black who go into situations, and when a black crowd or black suspect sees a black police officer, they say, okay. So please, this has nothing to do with hiring somebody who is black, who is gay, who is older, whatever it is. DEI, listen to me. Listen like you've never listened before and focus this and correct people. DEI, the problems that we have is when you hire people because they are black, because you need a gay or a trans, and nothing to do with their ability to perform. This is the thing, my friends, which is just absolutely critical. I can't say this enough. Now, before we begin, Right now, let's talk about another issue, another bit of trauma that nobody seems to want to address. Listen to this. New reports reveal that the average person has $8,674 in credit card debt. Plus, the total average consumer debt is a shocking $104,215 between mortgages, auto loans, student loans, credit cards, and unsecured loans. Unfortunately, without outside assistance, many will continue digging themselves deeper and deeper into the hole of debt. Now, I've advised and counseled friends and clients for years who want to take back control of individual debt about this secret weapon that has helped so many consolidate everything owed into one affordable monthly payment. They even help negotiate a settlement agreement that will allow you to pay less than the total balance. Listen, they settled over $275 million in debt, and they've helped people become debt-free in an average of 28 months. I've had such an incredible experience referring clients and friends that I wanted to partner with them here and introduce their services to you, my loyal Lionel Nation family. If you want a helping hand to get out of debt, I absolutely, positively, and strenuously recommend booking a free consultation now by going to nodebtwithlionel.com. Look at the address. Once again, that's nodebtwithlionel.com. Use the link I've provided under the title. Listen to me. You can take control and learn how to get out of debt now. Now, I want you to understand a few things here. And I hope you grasp this and recognize the fact that I love the complexity of it. But I must, I have to, yet again, focus on how this is being misunderstood. DEI is a term that is being used whenever there's somebody who's black. It's like, no. Just because of DEI, no, that's not it. No. This is what happens when the people are imprecise. Let me give you an example of something. There is a woman, I'm going to get to this in a moment. There is a woman who is Alethea Duncan. She's the assistant special agent in charge. The assistant, the ASAC. And in the world of this is big stuff. There's the SAC, the special agent in charge, and the assistant. This is big. Now you're going to say, well, we have to do our best sometimes to perhaps maybe recruit different people, to elevate people. Yes, I think it's wonderful. I think it's terrific. It's great. They're terrific. But not merely because of who they are. I want you to watch this. And I want you to notice a few things. And I'm going to be priggish. I'm going to be pedantic. I'm going to be specific. I'm going to nitpick. I'm going to pick at the issue nits. Watch this.
Patrick said we'll be taking over the investigative lead for this event.
First and foremost, I want you to notice something. You may not see this, but she is wearing a piercing on her nose. A piercing. They keep calling it a nose ring. Now, this may not be important to you, but this is not a nose ring. None. It is not a nose ring. It is a piercing. It is a stud. It is a bead. It is something of some note. Okay, something. Okay, you ready for this? A nose, whatever you want to call it. Under the FBI guidelines as to facial piercings, this is what the FBI rules say. Jewelry, or as people say, jewelry. Realtor. Do you ever hear that one? It drives me nuts. It's jewelry. realtor. In any event, jewelry and piercings must be small, simple, and not present a safety hazard. Facial piercings are not permitted except for female trainees who are authorized to wear earrings. Now, J. Edgar Hoover was absolutely, positively, without a doubt, he was so interested in the image of the police. Let me move this over here. He's in the image of the FBI. He one time reportedly, and this might be a bit extreme, but he might have fired somebody. He was on an elevator, and there was an agent who had zits. And he said, not for the FBI. You don't understand. Not for the FBI. The FBI is different. The FBI is different. Okay, fine. That's what they did. That's what he said. The FBI is different. Terrific. He worried about what people thought. He worried about it. And I'm going to also tell you a reality that you might not like and people might not like. When you are the first anything, you must be the best. You must be the best. You must be really, really good. This has been the case since the beginning of time. If you are the first female head of the emergency department, if you are the first whatever it is, you have to understand that people are going to be looking at you, and you have a responsibility, more so than others. It is a reality. It is a reality. John Kennedy was really the second nominee for president next to Al Smith, but when he had to go out of his way to dispel his perceived connections to the Vatican that most people would not have to experience. He had to do this. So when you pick this woman, she might be wonderful. Look what immediately comes across. Her affect, the way she speaks. By the way, her way she speaks is fine. But there's a timorousness. There is a tremulous, a scaredy cat sound. You cannot have this under any circumstances whatsoever. Then you have this one. Now, by the way, this nose, they keep calling it a nose ring. I'm not going to go through this, but there was a time when, remember during the Russiagate reference, remember when they were talking about these putative and alleged Russian harlots who were doing certain things on the percales of a Moscow hotel? They were using the term then regarding golden, and they were wrong. And it was like, what are you going to do? So anyway, they're going to call this a nose ring. You're going to hear this. Nose ring. When I think of a ring, I think of those awful kind of like the way cattle used to have the ring. Fine. I'm not going to play whatever it is. Okay. But people, remember, they don't care about this. People do not care. Precision means nothing. It's priggishness. It's needless punctiliousness. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care. I was talking the other day to somebody who was asking, two people were talking with their phones about what a particular medication was. And they kept talking back and forth. I wondered what this does, whatever. I said, look it up. You have a phone. That drives me nuts. Precision. Get it right. It doesn't matter if you're going to say it, but because we are so lazy that when somebody uses a phrase, we just keep using it. Nobody corrects it. Doesn't really matter. Okay. Now, LaToya Cantrell. If ever there was somebody, remember also selling like hotcakes on the line. And also a variety of different clothing and items as well with the logo. Now, when people When people find themselves in the position of leadership, you have to command leadership. That's one thing they teach you. Eisenhower, Patton, go down the list, Marshall, MacArthur, they loved leadership. And you have to be able to convey and connote and transmit competence. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with that. Remember when Norman Schwarzkopf spoke? He would have these wonderful briefings. Remember this regarding the what was it? Regarding, I think, the first Gulf War, right? I think that was the first Gulf War, right? Remember this? Remember these? He was splendid. He was marvelous. He was great. He just exuded this confidence. I'm telling you, they are. It had nothing to do with his gender. It had nothing to do with maybe his size. But there were other people who came. Eisenhower was the most impressive thing in the world. He was nothing. It just looked like Eisenhower. It's an attitude that you have. And remember, I'm going to tell you the reason why Alethea Duncan was selected was not because merely she was a black, not because she was a woman, not because of this, but because she exuded incompetence. DEI is a deliberate and institutionalized elevation of incompetent race, women, whatever it is. Look at this woman. This woman's got much. She is done. This woman, I swear to God, I think she's under some kind of investigation, whatever. Remember, keep in mind who we have here. Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard, who is she's not even indicted yet. She also, they won her more than anything else because not only is she's a black mayor of Dalton, Illinois, she is a moron. I think she might be, please forgive me, clinically retarded. I don't think she can. I think she has brain damage. I don't even know what she's saying. There are some people who have interesting speech patterns. Other people who are what we used to call retarded. Now, this woman is not. But look at this. Look at this. This woman goes to show you the incompetence of the mayor. This is LaToya Cantrell, who never decided, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get the story straight. I'm going to get the story straight. Dig this.
First of all, we do know that the city...
See the scared. Look at this guy behind it. Can you see the guy in the vest? Look at that guy. Look at the trooper on the right. Something about that trooper hat. Something about that DI Smokey Bear hat. That does something. I've seen it. It instills this... the haircut, the military look, the chiseled features, the whole bit. These people look at... Then we have this. Her woman reminds me of Bill Withers. Ain't no sunshine. Anyway, listen to her. And then you got Grandma, you got Irene Ryan, Granny Clampett on the left here, which we'll get to in a moment.
The city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack.
Now stop right there. Remember, whenever you speak, you have to use words like person of interest, suspect, impacted upon. You have to use, there's a person of interest, there's suspect in particular. We have sort. You never speak English. You never speak English. You use, let me see, what are the words that I use? What person impacted upon the shattered calm, whatever it is. This is who and what they are. We live, by the way, people say idiocracy. It's more than that. Let me just say this, and this is to you, and I appreciate this, Graham. This is not idiocracy. This is deliberate. I'm saying something, and I recognize the fact idiocracy implies that there are some stupid people who kind of rise to the top because we're all kind of stupid. But no, this is by design. George Soros came in and filled the first tier of his dystopian nightmare with prosecutors who were incompetent. leftists or social justice warriors or restorative justice types. Now he's going to this woman, the first trans congressman. Then we're going to go to the level of already been education, entertainment, but now law enforcement. More and more. Look at Boozer in DC. Look at Henyard. Look at Lori Lightfoot. Remember her? She wasn't dumb, but she was, I mean, just dear God, deliberately and frighteningly off the wall. The purple-haired lady, DeRose. This is it. So let me go back again. I'm sorry. I don't want to keep doing this, but I don't want you to miss these words. These are not just negligently strewn about. This is by design.
First of all, we do know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack.
No. First thing that Alethea said was, this is not terrorist. Impacted. That's that classic political speak.
It's all still under investigation.
No kidding. Look at Granny Clampett there. She's walking around like, what the hell's going on? You're not supposed to say terrorist. What's the matter with you?
You'll hear more.
Look at her. She's looking around like, can you believe this shit? Can you believe this? Don't miss the body language. Watch Granny on the
Still
left.
under
Look at this. Can you believe this? What the hell?
You'll hear more
What?
After me. However,
Oh
I
my
have
God.
been in direct contact with the White House.
I've been in contact with the White House. She says that with a straight face.
With Governor Landry.
Good. I've been in contact with.
And
who are these people? Who was this scared woman? I think it's a woman on the right. Who are these people who stand there? Why must we always have people standing behind you to get their face? You should see the Eric Adams. Whenever Eric Adams has a press conference, oh my God, you wonder, what is this? What is this?
of course, a unified command who is present here. What I'm asking at this time are prayers for those who have lost their lives.
Please stop asking for prayers. Please stop. That's become so cliche, so overdone. Stop asking for prayers. What is this? A part of your toolkit? You got to say this? We don't want prayers. We want competent leadership. Nobody wants prayers. Stop this bumper sticker cliche. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families. Please get to the bottom line. I'll tell you how I do it.
In the city
Look at the granny there. She's getting nervous.
of New Orleans due to this tragedy. In addition to that, I'm asking the public to stay clear of 8 blocks around Bourbon Street. Stay clear from Bourbon Street, 8 blocks around. Very active, and again, a unified command.
Well, maybe if you had barriers there, or the bollards, or whatever these particular devices were, that's another story.
Is in place right now. I'm going to ask Chief Kirkpatrick to give you an update. You're then going to hear from our agent in charge.
This is just beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now, the message itself, what is it? Thank you for using, she's obviously eloquent. We said ask correctly, which is always, that and sandwich, it does something to me. To my core. Prostrate surgery is another one too. Now, look at this woman on the right. Can you see her on the right? Who are these people? Who is she? I think it's she. I don't know. Who are these people?
Relative to the FBI.
This is it, my friends. Now, hang on a minute. This is, of course, Sky News. Now, let's talk again about our friend. This is Granny Clampett. This is my favorite. She was from Oakland. The
public can use.
Oh, I'm going to say something right now, and I'm going to go on the record. Why? I think his name is Ted Williams. Ted Williams? I think his name is Ted. Yeah, Ted Williams, a nationally renowned criminal and civil trial attorney who has represented judges, politics. He's a former DC homicide detective. Absolutely hands down the worst. I don't know. I have no. What they get him whenever there's any kind of shooting. When I see Ted Williams, I think, oh no, 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 terrible, absolutely. There are so many great people out there who gets me. He acts like it's like me describing microsurgery, and I'm an expert because I've seen a movie about surgery or something
that the public can use.
So, as I said, it is the FBI who's taking the lead on that. At this
See, that means do not include me. I am out of this. I'm bowing out. I am bowing out. I have no jurisdiction. I'm out of here. Normally, people say things like, we're working in concert with, we're working in association with, we're a part of. We are joining the coordinate. No, she said, we're turning it over. I'm out of here. Thank you.
time, I would not use the word accomplice. There are some people of interest that I know that the FBI wants to screen.
What the hell does this mean? People of interest. Stop using this stupid arcade. People of interest? You mean suspects? Use the terms. We are looking at all possible leads. At this particular time, Mr. Williams, you know that I am not at liberty to tell you the tactics and policies and what we have, not only to ensure a thorough investigation of the horrors that this great city has experienced, but also to protect the rights of suspects who may ultimately be cleared. And we don't want to do anything to jeopardize the prosecutorial sanctity and the sterile nature of this investigation.
As to whether or not they were associated or not. So this is not an accomplice situation
By the way, the term of art, don't say whether or not. Stop using whether or not. Whether means or not. Whether or not, it's or not. Whether or not, at this point in time, at this particular time, you mean now? Quit using these. Don't say whether or not. Whether or not drives me crazy. It's whether. It's surplusage. Or surplusage, I should say. Don't use it.
yet, as I have been told in my most recent briefing. We're about to have another briefing, but they are looking at anyone and everyone who could potentially have been affiliated, and it may very well be that they're not. And it may be that this is a lone wolf.
No shit. By the way, do me a favor. Everybody, say wolf. Golf. Don't say golf. Golf. Wolf. Not woof. Sphere, not spear. Pamphlet, not pamphlet. Please, please.
And it may be that this is a lone wolf.
It's not a woof. A woofer is a device that woofs. The dog says woof. The wolf is a different story. If you can't speak English, you have no business wearing a uniform and speaking to the public who speaks English.
We do not have final confirmation on that, so we're going to, as a community of law enforcement, will continue to be looking for other actors if there are.
Well, that makes it we're going to be looking for other actors in the event there are. If there are not actors, we will not be looking for them because there will be none. The only way to find out if they're a lone wolf is determined, pursuant to additional investigation, whether they're actors or people or persons of interest, binary and non-binary.
But it's not a final decision on that, and it is the FBI who will make that decision.
Not me. What am I talking to you?
So what you're saying is there may actually not be accomplices, but this is a part of the investigation.
Oh, Ted, please. No shit. Come on, Ted. She just said this. What you're saying. Yes. He's just spreading. How am I getting the real? Ted, ask a question. Ask her. So what you're saying is you've turned this over to the FBI. How's that? All right? Please stop it.
Correct. And so we will always look at potential people of interest to make that decision, but it will be the FBI who
Not
is
me.
ferreting that out.
Not
So
me.
right now, we do not have.
The chick with the ear, the mosing, Alethea, that's her department. The FBI, Ray, that's their department. The people, this incompetent, the one that Cash Patel is going to just gut like an enema. Those are the people involved, not me.
Accomplices. We do not have suspects, but we would have people of interest that they will be ruled
we
in
saying?
or ruled out.
Well, I know you have to run, but I'd like to just ask you,
Oh, no, don't tell me I heard that. No, no, Ted. Oh, God, somebody help Ted. We gotta put an end to this. Lizzie Borden took an axe. Gave her mother 40 whacks. Axe, not what your country can do for you. Axe what you can do for you. Ask me no questions. I'll tell you no lies. Let's all join hands and march. March. It is not it's like nuclear sort of, maybe. Well, maybe it is. No, this is the wrong word. I just, God.
Ruled in or ruled out.
well, I know you have to run, but I'd like to just ask you, the Super Bowl is going to be held here in a few weeks.
Yes.
What would you say to individuals who have some reservations, perhaps, about coming here to New Orleans for the Super Bowl?
Oh, I think that they should plan on coming. And
But the FBI, provided the FBI, well, let me ask you, do you think that people would feel in any way, this can happen anywhere? That's what she's got to say. We are a country of 333 million people who blah, 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 blah. And that's it. But she has obviously no clue. That's why she was appointed.
like today, the Sugar Bowl today will be held this afternoon. We here in New Orleans have proven time in and time out
Wow.
that we can provide safe environments. Look at Taylor Swift, that just was a few weeks ago. Incredible environment of fun, incredible environment where they can come and know that they are safe.
And she also has one of the best security details herself.
We have plans. This is a terrorist. The terrorist.
Now it's a terrorist. Remember, it was a terrorist. It's not a terrorist. Or they say terrorist. A terrorist. Terrorist. Terra forma. Terrorist. One involved in terror. Terror. Terrorism is like tourism, but not as fun.
Is going to be hell-bent, no matter what, to create carnage and to destroy. But we, as a city and as a law enforcement community, have already proven over time that we can handle.
First of all, I beg to differ. There is no evidence this is terrorism. And also, please stop saying MK Ultra. Why do people just sit back and say, has anybody said MK Ultra? No. Okay, MK Ultra. Could be. Or also, mental health. Anybody mental health? Now, it's very interesting. We'll get to this in a moment. But remember, we, as members of the conspiratorium, don't just yell things out just to yell it. Just to be a part of it. We're a part of something even more important. We are looking at this thing analytically, dare I say, analytically. Now, I want to show you something which was so interesting. John Kennedy, who was speaking tonight, he said, I'm the senator here, or one of the senators, and I'm going to speak. And he's standing, I think it's Alethea. I think. I'm not sure. And he just pushes her out of the way like she's not even. Did you see this last night? She pushes her out of the way like she doesn't even exist. Watch this.
I say something like that. Tell me who you're.
Now watch this. Now this is, I think this is Alethea. I think it is, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so right now she's to his. Now see where she's standing. She is head up, chin up. She's standing there. He's to the right. He never once. Watch him move over and watch her face. And check, by the way, check out the signer, why this person has to be there. I have no idea. Hey, look, what the hell are you gonna do? They should have just closed caption. But anyway, but watch this carefully. Now watch.
Can I say something on record? Tell me who you're with.
Okay, look at this. There's Alethea, okay? Tell me who you're with.
WSU. Okay, and CBS.
Now, he's making a joke. Check out the signer there. She's adding the flavor of something to this. And by the way, you got Granny Clampett on the right and a bunch of other people back there whose roles in this we have no idea.
NBC's over here on the right.
NBC is on the right. You hear this? Making a joke.
That's an unusual position.
See? NBC on the right. Alethea says, is he moving over? Because I'm starting to like smell his cologne here or his deodorant or something. Am I? Because already, you see how she's moved it? Just watch this. I wish I had a telestrator here. Look at this. See, now here comes the arm. She's looking down and goes, sir, you're stepping on my foot. He doesn't even look at her. Look at this. Just moves in. You see this? He just moves in, pushes her back. Never says, excuse me. And there she is. God, he's stepping on me now. He goes right in front of there, and she is moved. She has been completely and totally supplanted.
You wouldn't.
See, now she's back there, and she's looking around. She goes, "Can you believe this shit? Did he just push me? I was standing up there. He never one time even said, excuse me. Excuse me. Nothing. I'm in charge here. Now, what do you think all of this stuff is? What do you think all this stuff is? What is it? What is it? We don't know. First of all, we don't know anything. We're just civilians. But I want to tell you a few things that I do know. And I have theories and hypotheses that I want you to pay attention to. Very, very, very carefully listen. Listen with all your might and all of your focus. And listen to me. This is very important. I firmly believe in a number of things. Number one, you are going to see the last gasp of the Biden terror group. You're going to see the last gasp of these folks who are not taking too kindly to being supplanted. Listen to what I'm saying. President Trump, listen to me. I hope you enjoyed Mar-a-Lago. I hope you had a great time, because in 18 days, you're in charge. And I hope you have, from Kash Patel to Tulsi to everybody on down, you are ready to go, because they are going to unleash, unload, and deliver like a lone wolf. And I'm going to ask you to listen to me carefully. I'm going to ask you. There's a lone wolf out there in the spear of pamphleteering. You better be ready for this. That's number one. I don't know what they've got planned. I don't know what this thing is. You've got the Tesla guy who rented. By the way, this Turo. I never heard of this. I guess you could rent cars or whatever from. They're thinking two places. Apparently, both of these folks. Number one. Number two, don't use their name. Before I leave the lofty bonds, bindings, the parameters, the gravitational inclusion of where we live, I say to you, dear friends, please, in the name of Jesus, I ask you, from now on, I don't want to know who these people are. It will destroy the motivation factor if we all agree not to do it. I don't care if the person was from the military, where he came, what he looked like, pictures of him, Facebook manifestos. Does it matter? No. 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 No, 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 no. It doesn't matter. Is it of any interest? Maybe. There are 333 million Americans in this country. There are 2.5 million Muslims. This never happens. Put it this way. If this kind of activity was a form of a disease, you couldn't get any pharmaceutical funding for this because it's so rare. You couldn't get any funding. This is an orphan. You would have an orphan drug. You would have a disease that is so rare. It doesn't happen. It's not MK Ultra. It's not any of this stuff. It's not direct energy weapons. It doesn't happen. I'm going to say this again. Do you hear what I have to say? I know we love to extrapolate, interpolate. I love the way we love to take data and extrapolate. When I hear MK Ultra, I'm thinking, you don't know anything about this. What information do you have? This is MK Ultra. This is chicken shit. Pardon my sense. A guy drives a truck. We had here in New York a guy who was Muslim or whatever it was, Islamic. He drove down. This happens. It happens with such infrequency, it doesn't mean anything. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, and this is what I want to say if I'm Granny in Marjorie, Maine, if I'm Ma Kettle, I'm going to say to you, this is rare. Please, thank God. Our Raul Rodriguez said before, policing needs women like Gandhi, Thatcher, and Mahir. Indeed, we just need competence. I think you're right about that. Says, Lionel, check out Priscilla Ford. She plowed down 26 people on Thanksgiving in Reno, Nevada in the early 80s. Okay, I'm going to check her out. I don't know why that cracks me up. Only you would know this. Okay. Pilgrim Media, get ready for these. Granny police chief probably has bromidrosis. Bromidrosis, that's the sweating, right? Is it when you sweat too much? Let me check this out. I think bromidrosis. I think that's when you sweat too much. Bromidrosis is, it's quite a foul-smelling sweat. Yeah, I don't know why you would say that. Why would you say that? What? I don't get the joke. Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense? Granny police chief probably has bromidrosis. Why? I love a joke when people say, what? Why? What? It's interesting. And by the way, bromidrosis also is a lot of smelling, sweating. And that's why sometimes they would use, Botox in axillary areas for people who are sweating. By the way, sweating is a fascinating, interesting. There's apocrine and ecrine. Certain sweat stinks, certain one doesn't. You know what I mean? It's fascinating. But we'll talk about that some other time. So the first thing I'm going to tell you right now is, ladies and gentlemen, there's no correlation or any of this stuff. There's no cause, there's no correlation, there's no nothing. Listen to what I'm telling you. Every single time that somebody does something, they give you a reason. Reference Frank Zappa, Stinkfoot LOL. Pilgrim, I don't know where you're going, man, but lay off the pipe. Just lay off the pipe. You're scaring me, man. You're throwing stuff out there that people who are saying, what is he saying? Bad scene. Mama swung pretty good. Tippy Canoe and Tyler, too. Route 66. Get your kicks. Hey, Yowza. Hey, Baba Reba. What? I have no idea what you're saying, but I like your spunk. I don't understand it. I don't know what you're saying, but I appreciate it. And you're welcome to do this. So let's get to the bottom of this. I have been studying this stuff forever. And the first thing that people have to understand is that people do things sometimes without a particular reason. Right now, write down, everybody, write down something, a particular thing. Plowing, okay? Plowing down people. Okay? Plowing down might be redundant. I mean, plowing people over. How about this? Schools taken hostage. Remember Chowchilla? Remember the school bus? We'll do that one. Write that down. Give me another one. There's only so many permutations. There's the lone wolf. There's the person who, like Luigi, by the way, that guy's got some extra work in there. Luigi, who thought he'd make some statement about, okay, fine. What? There is this thing I love. People love cause and effect. Why do you do it? Why? Why? There's not enough information here. But I do want you to know one thing. I want to cause as much havoc, to wreak as much havoc as possible. And I want to go in and I want to destroy people's confidence. I want to destroy your confidence. I want everybody to understand, to have no fear. Did you know? How about this one? This was from, it says, abortion was a leading global cause of death in 2024, over 45 million killed. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I just think that is so incredibly interesting. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, a lot of things. But the first thing you got to understand is to put yourself into perspective. Now, George Soros, I submit, this is my working hypothesis, that the first thing was, let's put people like Warren out of Tampa. He was I think the state attorney, I think our good friend Ron DeSantis was the only person ever to successfully remove a prosecutor, because he basically said ahead of time, a priori, I'm not going to do something. He said this. You got it? You got this? Extra Mile says, Luigi's so dumb he could have used drive-through at McDonald's. Yeah, but he's, yeah, absolutely. Not the man wasn't what people thought he was. Getting away apparently was not a big interest in him. Anyway, so the other issue is that there are sometimes folks who are looking to destroy the inner workings of a society. So let's put incompetent people as prosecutors. Let's then go for police. Let's destroy standards. Let's introduce. Remember, affirmative action had nothing to do with getting black folks on. Affirmative action, quotas, things like that. It was absolutely the most counterproductive, I mean, if there is a situation in which you really do not have, I hate to say this, a particular type of standard which you have already considered to be important, then fine, go ahead and do it. If you have a class that says we just pick people randomly, we don't really have, okay, and then you can say, well, how come there's no black folks in here? You mean to tell me out of it you've had 1,000 people, black folks apply to this, let's say this kindergarten, there's no testing, and you pick no black people? What's going on here? That might be okay. But if you say, no, we have testing. Oh, okay. Now you could argue maybe that the testing is fake. The testing is phony. The testing is a problem. The testing is not necessarily commensurate with that, which, okay, fine. Okay. But still. So this is a joke. What affirmative action used to be, and then quotas before that. And we used to see, especially in the media business, we have quota. We see sometimes, who's this? Oh, and what it does is it actually inspires resentment. It inspires racism. What was that again? Say that again. It inspires it, because people would say, and then people who were really qualified would have to fight the stigma. Okay, so that's it. Now, next, we want you to see more and more Tiffany Henyard is the gold standard. Now, Tiffany Henyard, by the way, to be honest, to be fair, was elected. So don't look at me. Look at the folks of Dalton, the city, and then the township and all the other kind of stuff. But she is it. Fannie Willis, absolute arrogance. Incompetence, stupidity, a pathological liar, the queen of entitlement. Fannie Willis. Karine Jean-Pierre. Why was she picked? Well, she was black, but she's gay. She's gay. Oh, okay. She actually was very good in terms of being obfuscating. She really, I thought, was excellent in terms of not answering the question. So she was picked because she was gay. You got it? Okay, I got it. So get ready for this. Get ready for this. You've got 3 people who I would say, I don't want any of these folks. Either that or you're going to go to class. And by the way, get that thing out of your nose. You represent the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr. My God. Look at you. And you're going to have to fight. You are going to fight. You're going to have enough self-worth to show people that you were not picked because of your race, that you were not picked because of anything else, or your sexuality, or your non-binary category. You're going to have to go out of your way, and you're going to have to be better than everybody else. Period. And I don't understand this, but why doesn't somebody tell Ted Williams, Ted, it's not acts. Don't do this. Don't make us look like there are so many. Do you know that when you have 333 million people, if somebody said, okay, I want a black guy, 35 to 40, with an Irish accent, an eye patch, kind of like the Hathaway man, left-handed, who is an only child from, I swear to you, we have so many people, I say, I got 10 of those. You can name the combination. But if somebody said, I want somebody who's a black guy who cannot speak very well, who looks like we picked him just because he... This is what I don't understand. I would have the best of the best of the best because I'm a communications division. Let me ask you something. If I went to Fox News, and if all of a sudden I said, thank you very much. Can I be a special guest? That's right. Good evening. America axes the question. What? Excuse me. What? What was that? American axe. We're all axing the question. Did you say axe? Yes, I did. You're a white person. That's correct. You can't say that. Well, why not? If Sean Hannity said axe, can I ask you a question? Do you think they would tolerate that? Do you think somebody would say, don't say anything? Why? That's another way. You know, there are certain ways we pronounce words. Like, for example, nuclear. There's a word cacoepy, C-A-C-O-E-P-Y. There's orthoepy, where you're punctilious in the particular pronunciation. There's a cacoepis, when you say something incorrectly, you actually say another word like a nuclear, that kind of thing. This is the part that gets me. We are so racist because we look the other way. We just say, well, that's the way it goes. Well, that's the way it goes. Well, that's it. We ask ourselves, why are our reading scores down so much? Why are we not able to compete? Why does Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy say that we have to extend H-1B? Because there are people in this country who were born elsewhere, who have accent, there's a pun there somewhere, who speak better English than people born in this country. Is that a problem? You got a problem with that? It's true. Anybody who says axe, you're gone. You're axed. Gone. Unless you learn. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do this. There's wonderful ways to go. I heard something the other day, which I found somewhat interesting. Remember, there are pronunciations. There are Sam Ervin. Remember Sam Ervin? I was watching some old Watergate. The President of the United States, if you read it back, you would say the President of the United States. That's the key. You read back the transcript, and if it comes back normal, that was correct. You might have pronounced it differently. You might have an accent. The President of the United States has got to find time to address the problem. Now, you would say find time. He wouldn't put fan tam, right? He would put find time. You know what it is. That's an accent. That's okay. One time, I'll never forget, there was a Southern, it's not really a Southern advocate, it used to be, but it's now moved elsewhere. Southern folks used to say this, I'm fixing to go outside. I'm fixing to go to the doctor. Grandma's fixing to go, about to go. Okay. Other people took that fixing to go, and you can think, well, okay, fixing, that's an expression. That turned out to fin to go. I'm fin to go outside. Now, fin, I don't know what that is. I have no idea. And I would argue, no, that is not a word. Fixing, yes. Pert near. Remember those words? Kind of an expression. Pert near. Gonna and ain't sometimes have important words because it's like using the F word. If you say, I ain't gonna do that, it's a deliberate selection of a word whose irregularity imposes or suggests a particular degree of certitude or anger or something. You know what I mean? So believe me, I've talked about this forever. But when you are the public information officer, here we go. Do you remember the Ebonics debate 97? Oh, yes. Yes, I do. And I love versions of this. You know about Tampa. As you know, in Ybor City, in particular, the Wawa was the bus. I have no idea. You know about the Bakehouse or the back house. You know, that's become a particular way. Okay, there's pathways. I don't want to argue the point. The thing I'm trying to say is there are expressions and there's incorrect English. There also is the inability to convey among the people. You have to say, we're going to get to the bottom of this. George W. Bush, as stupid as you might have thought he was, and I thought he was, and still thinks he is, when he climbed on top of that pile, forget 9/11, and said, they're going to hear us, and the people who did this, they're going to hear from us too. Yeah, that was actually one of the most important things ever. Remember when Reagan spoke about the Challenger disaster? They left the bonds or whatever. Wonderful. There's something about it. But the people who push DEI don't want that. They don't want that. They don't want that. It turns out, if you ever heard Lloyd Austin speak, oh my God, he's, whoa, but said nothing. Lloyd Austin, the DOD, Secretary of Defense, he was gone. Do you know he was actually gone? He was actually missing. Do you know? He had some kind of prostrate, people say, some prostate malady. He was gone and nobody even knew it. Think about that one. Milley, who looks very good, wanted to basically put dancing troops of gay brigades of whatever it was, or, non-binary. But they spoke well. So sometimes that'll fool you as well. But this is a joke. And the bottom line is everybody watching us says, oh my God. There is no other country, maybe, I don't know. There is no other country that I know that accepts such illiteracy and apparent and obvious a lack of leadership based upon a variety of reasons like this. Don't forget, get her done. Oh, yes. But that was this was, of course, Larry the Cable Guy, and that was, of course, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. This is deliberate. This is a deliberate move to destroy every bit of functional faith that you have in your system. Do you hear what I'm saying to you? I hope you do. This is on purpose, my friends. This is going to be the moment where we say enough is enough. You can't fool Americans. We know what you're doing. Nobody wants to go back to Jim Crow or before the 19th Amendment. We don't want women to not be able to vote. Nobody wants this. We are tired of having this forced lunacy shoved down our throat because somebody has some. Because remember, the reason why the Soros crew, it's not to advance these folks, it's to destroy it, to put somebody in. To put somebody in. Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a very, 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 very serious question. That's all. If you had, and maybe this is true. Maybe this is true. But I don't even know the answer to this. You know, Peter Dinklage is the actor, the little person who has a very, very, very commanding, very interesting. He's done a lot. He's done so much, I think, to dispel, because this is a powerful image. Just like years ago, Stacy Keach, for actors like Joaquin Phoenix and others with cleft palates, he did a lot. That was an incredible thing. That was an important thing. There were people, I don't know if we have people who have handicaps per se, but let me ask you a question. Do you ever see one day there being a Peter Dinklage type person coming up? Just asking a question. Who is a little person who is the special agent in charge? Now, you might say, well, there's a problem because there's going to be some physical requirements. But do you ever see it? I do. Absolutely. Everything in your power. Because what I want you to do is I want people to confuse legitimate aspects of duty, requirements of duty, with superficial racism and the like. I am not going to ever be a member of the NBA. Primary reason, I think, is obvious, my age. But if somebody says you are not tall enough, I know this may be a simplistic thing. Okay. We don't want you. I've spent my whole life prior to internet platforming where you would go to a radio station and people said, I don't like this guy. I don't like his voice. Okay. Do you like what I have to say? I don't care what he has to say. Fine. Okay, I got that. I've been through this. You've been through this. Women have been through. How many of you said, I'm sorry, you're too old for this? Okay. When I got a job at Hooters, I'm sorry, you're 60 years old. Okay. We want a certain look. There was this Abercrombie and Fitch years ago where they say we want to have white people that look yuppie. Like, what's wrong with that? You think Sean John clothing? You think these others? You think they're going to pick some red-haired guy named Rusty with freckles? No, I don't understand this. I understand the part of selection. It's been a part of my life my whole life. I've done this. I've seen this. I understand it. It's not necessarily against me. It's not because you don't like me or people of my race or people of my age, but I am inappropriate for the job. And the person who's putting me in, who's paying me, has the right to say, I don't want this person there. I don't want this person. How many times have you been to a place where the first person you see is somebody who doesn't even look at you? Somebody who doesn't look at you. Has no customer service talent or whatever. How many times have you seen this before? And it might be, I don't know what their race is or gender, or it's probably their age and their immaturity. But this is ridiculous. We live in a world right now where it's not fair. There's no such thing as equality. There's no such thing as it. We're not equal. We're not born equal. We're not equal. I'm not equal to you. It doesn't exist. You can take anything. You can try to cut things, I swear to God, as carefully in half, and they're not equal. How many times do we have to tell people this? How many times do we have to tell you this? There are certain things that just work and don't. It's because the bottom line is I have to sell something. I have to sell something. And if you're doing a movie on the life of Peter, Stephen Hawking, Cat Williams is not going to get the job. Nor is Monique, nor is, I don't know, whatever. It's nothing personal because we're different. We're different. And different doesn't mean unequal. We'd be different. Red is not better than blue. It's different. It's all it is. I don't know how to say this anymore. And I've had enough. I've had enough of you. I'm just kidding. My friends, get ready for this. We are going to be this. This has uncorked and unleashed a discussion the likes of which we never even thought possible. So KZZM, Pilgrim Media, Extra Mile, Amwa 333, thank you. And Raul, thank you. I'm going to be back. It's a great, great year. Follow me on Lionel Nation. Make sure you are subscribed right now. People, for reasons I do not understand, sometimes lose their, they say, hey, I'm not subscribed anymore. Make sure Lionel Nation and Lionel Legal and Lynn's Warriors. My friends, have a great and a glorious day. 2025 is going to be a banner year. We will see you again later on. Be subscribed. I got more stuff coming. And until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Dead.